Hey, Scott Ryan here. Nice to see you again. I see that Benjamin Netanyahu managed to hang on to power. Thank God. That's the one good thing that we can say that's happened in the last week. And continue to pray for the peace of Jerusalem, because Jerusalem has no friends in the world, especially Barack Hussein Obama. And it's really ironic when you look at it. I saw Chuck Schumer at the inauguration exchanging pleasantries with Barack Obama. And so many of these northeastern Jews, American Jews especially, perversely befriending this man. I mean, they are dancing with the devil. He has given them every reason. I mean, he's practically telegraphed it to them. How anti-Israel he truly is, how anti-Jew he truly is. Everybody with whom he has surrounded himself and with whom he has allied himself are anti-Israel and anti-Jew. He's been quite overt about it. And these people like Chuck Schumer, your Debbie Wasserman Schultz, your Dianne Feinstein, and the Hollywood Jews like the Rob Reiners and the Harvey Weinsteins and Weinstein, I'm not sure, Steven Spielberg. These people are dancing with the devil. And what he is doing right now is setting up the Jews in America for persecution. With Ben Shalom Bernanke, as head of the Federal Reserve, Obama is deliberately encouraging the destruction of the United States dollar. And when that happens, you know who's going to get the blame? The drones on the street are not going to be blaming Barack Obama for deliberately sabotaging this country by spending, kamikaze spending. They're not going to blame him for that. These imbeciles are actually indoctrinated enough to believe that the more the government spends, the more prosperity it creates. So they're not going to blame him. You know who's set up to get the blame? The Jews. Ben Shalom Bernanke will be Obama's Jewish Patsy. And you look at some of the key Jewish figures. You know, when you look at history, going back thousands of years, or more recently, the Nazis, the Jewish bankers are the ones that get the blame. When the pitchforks are out and people are looking for blood, the Jewish banker sets the ball rolling. And Ben Shalom Bernanke is perfectly positioned. He might think that he's a friend of Obama's, just like Chuck Schumer is egregiously stupid enough to believe that Obama likes him as well, because they're fellow liberals. When the dollar is destroyed, not one of these government prodigals, except for the Jews, especially Ben Bernanke, will be the fall guy, will be the patsy, and you will see such documentaries highlighting propaganda, highlighting and fomenting anger towards Jews throughout the United States and throughout the world, and they will be blamed for the demise of the world currencies. It'll have nothing to do with the evil saboteurs who want to enslave Americans and want to enslave Europeans and want to enslave Asians, which many already are, but it will have to do it. It's all going to come down to blaming the Jews. They are the patsies. I mean, you look at it, there are some really infamous names out there. I mean, Ben Bernanke will be the number one, but Bernie Madoff, largest Ponzi in American history, perhaps even world history, a Jewish financier. A popular documentary on Netflix you can see, it's called The Queen of Versailles, and it's about the wife of a notorious developer by the name of Siegel, who was the founder and CEO of Westgate Resorts, and has built the largest timeshares in America, the largest timeshare seller in America. And the video is very unflattering, and it demonstrates a lack of principle. I mean, the guy gives capitalism a bad name. He is an example of how capitalism is only adequate for a moral people, as our founders warned. He is the quintessential example when you examine his deeds, his philosophy, the way that the products are sold, the way that people are bamboozled. You see that this guy is detestable. And he's also a Jew. And he built the largest single-family home under one roof in America, which was supposed to be purported as a replica of Versailles in Orlando. And you talk about tacky. I mean, the whole thing just demonstrates a lack of taste. No matter how much money you have, you cannot buy taste. Nevertheless, there are many Jews in this country who are going to be the scapegoats. You are going to see persecution like never before. And these people, his useful idiots, are delusional if they think that they're going to circumvent the consequences of their action. Even though they are basically traitors, they're like the Jews in Israel who were responsible for God handing them over to their enemies, those who continuously worshipped Baal, built altars in the high places, defied God, worshipped Molech, sacrificed babies to this Ammonite god. I think he was Ammonite. Nevertheless, they would put this metallic, I think it might have been golden, statue in the fire and heat it up and set babies in there and sacrifice it by burning them, incinerating them in the hands, which is abortion, essentially. These liberal Jews who are supporting, who are advocating the atrocities of Barack Obama, all of the atrocities and immorality for which he stands, the murder of millions of babies, innocent victims, and soon will be the murder of millions of elderly and handicapped, mentally retarded through euthanasia, which is an absolute certainty, a concomitant of Obamacare. Evil like we have not seen in our lifetimes is going to be implemented and carried out. Now, the thing is, many of these Jews, like your Chuck Schumers, your Dianne Feinsteins, and even his idiot in Chicago, his useful idiot in Chicago, the mayor now, Emmanuel, they're all going to the fiery furnace. They're useful to him right now. They've got a majority of Jews supporting this clearly anti-Semite president, supporting him in their perversity, turning their back, shaking their fist at the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. These people are a disgrace. They even persecute their own. They speak of them disdainfully as those radical Zionists. Barack Hussein Obama, who was raised as a Muslim in his youth, who is a lifelong friend of Louis Farrakhan and the anti-Semite Jeremiah Wright. We know where they stand. Anyone with any sense knows where they stand. And these Jews, these sellouts, Jewish in name only, like Chuck Schumer, these people are ignominious. They know what's going on. They are selling out their people. They are selling out the God of their fathers for their own prestige to make a few bucks. And believe me, when it all hits the fan, and it's going to be soon, Ben Shalom Bernanke is going to be there. He's going to be there to take the heat. And the Jews are going to take the blame around the world when these currencies collapse, despite the fact that all of the people who will be bringing the charges and scapegoating them, they were every bit as responsible as these Jewish individuals. But when that happens, when it hits the fan, and this evil anti-Semite, Barack Obama, is done with these people, when he has used them long enough, when their usefulness has run out, these people giving him plaudits, sucking up to him like Schumer and the Weinsteins of the world, the Spielbergs, the Wasserman Schultz, you're all useful idiots. And when you finally realize what you've done, it's going to be too late. Persecution is coming. It is coming by the left. The left, I've been debating these people for decades. They are the most anti-Semitic people you will ever meet. And some of them profess to be Jews because they are Jewish by blood, but they will not hesitate to sell out their people. They have no loyalty to their people or to their God. George Soros being a quintessential example. But it's going to get ugly. And they're all going to be, it's ironic right now because so many of them, the majority of them have voted for Barack Hussein Obama. And the irony is they are voting for the man who's going to be the first to send them to the death camps. Just look at his actions, look at his friends. He is a consummate liar, a consummate deceiver. He has it perfected. And I don't care how he makes you feel right now. He is lying. You know it. He has given every reason. He has telegraphed it. You have to be delusional to think otherwise. And when your usefulness is run out, woe betide you, because it will be too late. Anytime that I've spoken about this over the years, no doubt people come out and accuse me of being an anti-Semite. These are leftists. These are people who are so brainwashed, so deluded, they have no idea what they're saying. Let me just be clear that I believe, as a Christian, that the Jewish people, the state of Israel, are God's chosen people. And I've read that Old Testament thoroughly, and I see, as it is brutally honest, how God has handled his people Israel by giving them over to captivity time after time and delivering them and then giving them again to their enemies and as a form of discipline. And that is what's happening to us in America. That is why Barack Hussein Obama is our president right now. We are not exempt from that. My Savior is a Jew. Jesus Christ was a Jew. There are some lunatics, some nutcases, some despicable people out there, like your David Dukes and all kinds of whack jobs, who try to distort things and make up ridiculous things, saying that the Jews really weren't the Jews, and like the Palestinian morons, making all kinds of contentions that make no sense, have no basis in history, archaeology. Let me be clear right now. When I hit and I swing and I hit hard, when I make the statements like I said about how these Jews in America are being used by Obama and how they are betraying their people and how they are going to be sent to the concentration camps as soon as they've worn out their welcome, as soon as he's used them to the point where there's nothing left that they can give him to his advantage of destroying America and destroying Israel. I want to be very clear about the fact that I believe that the Jewish people are God's chosen people. God sent his son, the Messiah, Jesus Christ. He is the fulfillment of the prophecy in Isaiah 53, among hundreds of other prophecies. He is the Savior. And they will recognize, one day every knee shall bow, every tongue shall confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. And boy, do we need him. I know I do. I know I need a Savior. Thank God I'm not getting what I deserve. And I know that there will come a day, as in the prophecies point out in Revelation, that day will come, that Israel will see Christ as that Messiah predicted by Isaiah and other major prophets throughout the Old Testament. I'm just telling you what's going to happen. I'm telling you the fact that many of these Jews in high places in America are going to be scapegoated. And yes, Ben Bernanke is to blame. But he's not the only one to blame. I mean, he is accommodating Obama. He is accommodating the left. He accommodated George W. Bush. He's accommodating the New World Order. He's destroying our currency. But it isn't because he's Jewish. He happens to be Jewish. Karl Marx was a Jew. Okay? There's a stiff-necked propensity. That's a fact. Jews will tell you that themselves. I can't explain the obstinance of people, how blind they can be, like your Debbie Wasserman Schultz here in my state of Florida. She's an embarrassment. She's destroying our state, seeking to, at least. And hopefully the rest of the state will prevent that from happening. She needs to go back to New York, where she came from, along with the rest of them who have destroyed their state to the point where it's unbearable. And then they come here because they can't stand it anymore. They want a better life, so they come here, and then they do the same thing they did in New York. That's tangential. But something has to be done. People need to wake up, especially the Jewish people. You are in grave danger. And I know that this will fall on deaf ears because perverse is as perverse does. Hearts will be hardened. People like Wasserman Schultz and Chuck Schumer, they are perverse. They are a disgrace to the Jewish race. They persecute their own. They will bring about millions more Jews being persecuted and killed throughout the world. Their ilk will be directly responsible. And when they hear the warnings, when they are told, as I am telling you right now, about Obama and how he is using them and how he will continue to use them and to destroy the Jewish people, they will not think about that. They won't look at the facts, his actions, his worldview since the time he was born and reared in a Muslim school. They won't look at that. They will reject it. They will become more liberal. They will become more evil in their deeds. They will support this perversely. They will support this guy even more. It's sick. But it is what it is. The world is a stage. Each of us must play our parts, I suppose. Thank you for joining me. I'm Scott Ryan.